Testing, check, check, check. Ready. And are we rolling?
Wait, hold on. All right, that's better.
Thank you so much for coming to hang out today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's amazing. I'm so excited to talk about Deeper Well. So, the album ends and you put it out, but you don't stop writing.
Right.
I understand. So they're like, okay, you're done now, Kacey. We're gonna put this out, and you're like, no. And you kept going.
Yeah, because it's so fun. I got through all the album promo and everything, and then I realized I had some time, and I don't do so well with just like endless, like if I look on my schedule and I have 2 months of nothing, I'm like, oh my God, like that stresses me out bad. And so I think it's good for me to have, you know, something on the horizon that I'm like working towards and shaping. It fulfills me so much. And so it's interesting, those songs, some of them are older, and then some of these are newer, and some of them are like ruminations on, you know, some of the feelings that were already on the original record. And then a couple are just like, if Deeper Well had some summer bops, like what would that sound like? Okay, that's fun, let's throw those on there. But yeah, like Little Sister was written in like 2019, I think. And it's just interesting how songs like find their way, you know, they like, Little Sister didn't work for any record until now, and then something about it stuck its hand out and said like, hey, like, remember me? Like, and I was like, wait, this would totally work. This is an extension of me exploring, you know, my childhood, myself, like, you know, where I came from, really. So it made sense.
Talk about kind of how, like what I said before, like when you started working on the album, like what did you, or maybe when you got done with it the first time, what did you want people to think or feel when they got to the bottom of it? Because I remember this, like, I mean, this launch was like massive. Like I think we did something at the Skirmerhorn, didn't we? Like we celebrated this so much, and you were like, I'm still not done. But like, what did you want?
I mean, it's hard to say, because truly like making a record is selfish in nature for me, because it feels so good for me, and I just, whatever feels good to me at the time, sonically, lyrically, kind of thematically, I just kind of go with that. And then when it comes out, like there's a true letting go process of like, you know, this isn't gonna be just mine anymore. You know, I'm sharing this with other people who have their own thoughts and feelings about it. You know, it triggers their own memories and their own attachments to it. So I don't know, I really truly do. I don't know if it sounds cliche, but I try not to think too much about like, this is what I want people to feel, because it's more so about how I feel, and then I don't know how to explain it. But I guess ultimately I liked the idea of maybe a calm spot, like amongst kind of the chaos that's swirling around us all the time, you know, just kind of a warm, introspective, organic place.
To me, the project, when you listen to it top to bottom, and like I'm 10 years older than you are, but it's like, oh my gosh, as a grown woman, it makes me feel like you're not alone, because there's so many songs on this album that touch places that most of us have been, that you're like, okay, well, I'm glad
you say that. That's the beauty of music, right? It's like, you know, we kind of just flowed down this crazy river together and experience. I mean, being a human is beautiful and crazy as hell at the same time, you know? It's full of such sheer beauty and also a lot of suffering. And people have turned to music for thousands of years, you know, clinging on to melodies and chants and meditations and mantras and things that, like, you know, give people hope or solace or just plain connection. And so that's, I guess, my ultimate goal, is connecting with myself first, and then through that having an energetic connection with like other people.
So now introduce me to the newest songs.
Ruthless, which actually that was an older one as well. And Little Sister, Flower Child, right?
Flower Child.
And then we have Perfection, which I love that song so much. It's definitely sort of an ode to the OCD tendencies I have. I can definitely get like I'm a very details-oriented person, and even since I was little, like I really like make sense of the world by like via symmetry and balance. I mean, you can ask all my friends, like I'm always arranging things. Like if I'm standing at a hostess stand at a restaurant waiting to be seated, I'm straightening the business cards. Like I can't not. And so that song literally does touch on, you know, some of that, but also my friends' Tiny Habits. I'm such a fan of their songs, their writing, their voices. I just think they're gonna take over the damn world. And I'm lucky to call them friends. They're so sweet, and it's just an honor to have them on that song with me. And then Leon Bridges, Texas boy, been a fan of his for a very long time, and Super Bloom is just fun. Like, I think it's funny, it's rare that I have like an up-tempo song. I just gravitate towards like the sad mid-tempo shit, and so Super Bloom was actually really fun for me, and then the fact that Leon wanted to be on it was awesome, and I love him, and I'm so pumped for his new record. And then what else do we have? We have
Arm's Length. Then
well, we have Irish Goodbye, and let's talk about you said you had to Google Irish Goodbye.
I did. I had to Google Irish Goodbye, friends, and what I learned is Irish Goodbye really means asshole.
Not well.
I mean, it does.
Okay.
I mean, unless they like drop dead at a party in the bathroom.
I mean, okay, let me clear this up. Socially, I support an Irish Goodbye. Romantically, I do not support an Irish Goodbye. You can't, I mean, don't ghost people.
No, it's
just have the balls to say, I'm sorry, I need to move on, I need to do this, that, or the other, and don't leave people hanging. But at a party, what are you gonna do? Make the rounds, say goodbye to 100 people? You're gonna be there all night. Just slip out the back. They won't even notice, and if they do, you can just be like, oh, I didn't wanna, you know, whatever.
But the song isn't about a party.
It's not about a party. It's about relationally someone piecing out, checking out. So, yeah.
And you were super proud of this song.
I love that song. That was one of the newer ones. And then I think it wraps up with Arms.
I think that one's last, and then.
Nope. Yep, you're right. Wow.
Arm's Length, and then,
Need to study my own discography. No, Arm's Length. I love that song. I wrote that out in California with Shane McAnally, Josh Osborne, and Sarah Buxton. And they're all three of my great friends, and just so fun being in a room with them and writing. And that one kind of just fell out. But, you know, it's not a fun feeling to really love somebody and want to pull them in, and they're just kind of keeping you here. And yeah.
I think the magic in that song for me, like a lot of people have written about that in some way. I don't think anybody has captured it the way that you did. It like with your word. I mean, it's what you do, right? Like with your word choices. I mean, it's like people like, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like no question what's happening. There's no, I mean,
yeah. It's specific. I mean, the thing is that's the challenge of a songwriter, right? Like every song has been written a million times. Every emotion has been written a million times. How can you say it differently? And that's always the challenge for myself, is just like, A, how do I simplify? B, how do I make this more conversational and real? And then, you know, also how can I flip this into an angle that like maybe somebody wouldn't expect? It's a really fun challenge. It's almost like a little game, you know? But thanks. I'm glad you like that one. I'm really happy that found its way and made it on the record.